number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Yeah! So I have a question for you. How did your formative years affect you? You know, the grown-up version of you now. What is this? If you're mostly human, the answer is a lot. In fact, most of what we consider normal is based on our day-to-day upbringing. The individual events that kind of framed our life. Where, who, what happened. Do we consider 80s parachute pants cool? The answer is yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not really sure what this is. It's supposed to be pineapple juice, but it kind of tastes like sweet glue. Or whatever I imagine glue tastes like. Yeah, even that is based on your formative years. You know, that happy little time from between when you learned to walk and your first unexpected boner in gym class. My apologies to the ladies watching if this doesn't affect you, or does. I'm not judging either way. So life has a funny way of being surreal. One minute you're driving your mother's Trans Am entirely too fast down the back roads in mid-America, trying to charm the pants off some Dixieland chick. Ironically, her name actually was Dixie. And the next minute you find yourself on a plane going to the Far East to some place called Hong Kong. Up until that moment, I had actually only heard of Hong Kong in the movie Top Gun.
You screw up just this much, you'll be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong.
I suppose I could have actually read on the bottom of some of the toys I had at that time as well. Kind of like all my Transformers, my He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Oh, those were pretty cool if you remember those. Although in later years I kind of realized that I kind of was playing with some beefcake with Shirley Temple hair, metal bra, and fur-lined panties. So, in retrospect, not so cool. Just like that, I was a proud resident of Hong Kong. Now, I'm not going to go much into my life in Hong Kong at that point when I was a kid, but suffice to say it was different from anything else I had experienced up until that point in my life. I liked the outside perspective of the world from outside the United States. I liked the girls. I liked the adventure. I liked the girls. I liked the food. I liked the girls. I liked the cool scenery. I liked the girls. Oh yeah, I like the girls. All joking aside though, I found that when the time came to go back to USA, to go to university, I really missed this life. And, well, like any good automaton, I settled into the daily grind, you know, getting up, going to work, going to school, paying my taxes, helping my landlady take out her garbage, and life gets kind of settled into what we call the daily grind. Go to school, go to work, go to bed, get up, live for the weekend, 5 for $1 macaroni and cheese, save up, buy a car, wreck a car, save up, buy another car, walk to work until you can afford to get that car running. Yeah, the daily grind. Eventually save up, buy a house, get a job, get a better job. Realize the better job was not the better job. Save up some more. Get married, have a kid. Why not? Have 2. They're free, right? Oh, they're not free. The sad fact is, I know hamsters that actually lived a better life than I did at that point, which is kind of ironic considering we're both running in wheels. And it wasn't until I came back to Hong Kong that I realized how much I had missed living in the Far East. I suppose that's when China started changing a little bit more. You see, 25, 30 years ago, Hong Kong and China were not at the same level. The quality of life in Hong Kong was much better than in China. And over the years, China kind of came up to that place to where, really, they're not that much different. Except living in China won't cost you an arm and a leg. So I got off the plane in Hong Kong and I realized immediately, wow, it's like no time at all has passed. I missed all the sights, all the smells. Well, maybe not the smells. It was kind of like one of those cheesy ABC back-to-school specials, you know? Oh, what you wanted was here all along. You know, and yeah. It wasn't the location per se. It was the feeling that I got from being here. And I really missed that. And I really wanted to have that again. As soon as I got off the plane, flew back direct from Hong Kong, Chicago, back to the Midwest, everything felt bland, lifeless, and just, well, kind of like one of those old 80s diet pill commercials.
What's the best way to reduce? Eat what you want or starve yourself? Starve yourself? Wrong. A half-empty stomach causes hunger tantrums. Now you can avoid hunger tantrums, lose weight naturally and fast. With the RDX full stomach reducing plan, you fill your stomach, yet fat just seems to melt away. And safe, pleasant tasting RDX tablets contain no dangerous drugs, no hormones. So if you want to eat and lose fat, get RDX at your drugstore today.
Sometimes you have a moment of pure focus where everything just kind of comes together. You see, as soon as I got off that plane, I realized that I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with my 9 to 5, which ironically was more like a 5 to 4, 6 days a week. And don't get me wrong, I made good money, but I was still squeaking by. I mean, I was doing okay. I had a good house, I had 2 cars, a couple of kids, a couple of cats, and a sofa that smelled suspiciously like strawberry jam. No, like literally all the time, it smelled like strawberry jam. And I started making plans at that moment to come back to China. See, my mom, dad, sisters, and my mother's curious excuse for dogs are here. They're in China. All my family's here. So it kind of made sense for me to come back, right? Truth is, no matter what you got, if you're not happy, no amount of fruity flavored furniture is going to turn that frown upside down. So I liquidated. I sold everything. The house, the cars, the furniture, the cats. Couldn't sell the cats. Tried to sell the cats. I gave the cats away. I took everything and I got it down to 22 suitcases. Nobody wanted my sofa. Can you believe it? Nobody wanted the sofa. I ended up putting it by the curb. Nobody took it. I still have no idea what happened to that sofa. And just like that, I was back on an airplane. Amazingly enough, I didn't even have to pay any overweight baggage for all those suitcases. I kind of expected to pay a small fortune, or perhaps donate a kidney, but I didn't. You see, when I got to Chicago, they told me that my flight, direct flight to Hong Kong, was canceled. And they'd have to put me up at a 5-star hotel for the night. And comp me for an expensive dinner, then breakfast. And, oh yeah, those 22 bags, yeah, no charge. Just throw them on. So I made it back. Yay! Well, not exactly. You see, for those of you guys paying attention, you realize that I made it back to China and not Hong Kong. So why China, not Hong Kong? Well, as I said earlier, China is a lot less expensive to live and won't cost you an arm and a leg. Also, my family at this point had moved inland into the mainland and were no longer living in Hong Kong. So this is where they were, this is where I wanted to be. Seriously, Hong Kong may be the tits when it comes to adventure, scenery, and internet so blazingly fast, it loads your page before you know that you wanted to go to that page. But Hong Kong is really expensive. But hey, outside of no Facebook, no YouTube, no Google, and noticeably less cheese, it's basically the same as Hong Kong. Better in many ways. Seriously, this is not a slam China video. I actually love China. China is a cool place to be. So yeah, the food is good, the public transportation is great, and oh yeah, I got a job I really like, teaching kids. In many ways, probably the best job I ever had in my life. Okay, so the hours can be a little tedious, but what job doesn't have that? The point is, I'm doing something I really like. And isn't that what life is all about? So what are my plans for the future? Well, I'm not sure anyone really plans for the future. I mean, you plan financially for the future, of course, but as far as where you want to end up, I don't know. I know this is where I want to be right now. As far as other plans, well, I did want to step my game up on my vlog a little bit because, well, let's be honest. This little thing here, while it's technically HD in the way that my mother's pets are technically dogs, you know, food goes in one side and, well, just like this thing, crap comes out the other end. It was okay for shots of opportunity, capturing underwater shots. In the daytime, it's okay. But at night, like this, no. So I got a new camera. So yeah, honestly, I think the new camera looks great. I think the night shots are definitely much better. Maybe even Casey Neistat levels. Minus the douchey sunglasses. So yeah, that's how I got back to China. And you know, life in China is pretty good. Grand. You might even say life in China is snarky. And that's a good thing. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys joining me. We'll catch you next time. Stay frosty. Parrot shape. Why can I not talk today?
That didn't work, Dad.
That didn't work.